Hello and welcome to the second dungeon guide for Stormblood. This is the Shisui of the Violet Tides. This dungeon is accessible once you have progressed further enough to unlock diving as part of the main story, and is unlocked via a side quest in one of the underwater towns I'll mark on the map in the footage now. The dungeon is filled with aquatic monsters born from the depths, and so we enter to face its three bosses. Number 1 then is Amikiri, the sea scorpion. This boss greets you with his first ability soon after you remove some health off of him. This attack pins a random party member down. This player can still cast, however, but is stuck under the legs of the beast. Amikiri's legs are now destroyable and must be destroyed to free the trapped party member, otherwise they will take devastating damage. Simply kill the leg, then resume DPS on the body. Occasionally between his melee onslaught and pin move you will have players marked with a blue circle above their heads. They must spread out, as when the buff fades the player will take AoE damage and so will everyone else nearby. You don't want to stack this. The last ability on this boss is to call for an additional scorpion to fight in the arena with him. These Kamakiriads, once spawned, should be killed quickly as they do large amounts of damage but have very little health. So you should kill these and then resume DPS on the boss. Quite an easy one this, and a good introduction to the dungeon, but let's move on deeper into the dungeon. Next up is the Ruby Princess. This is a fight I absolutely adore for its story. Periodically the princess will attempt to steal the life out of the party members fighting her with the ability Seduce. This does significant damage, unless of course you use one of the 4 treasure chests you may have noticed around the room. You can use these by running into them. This will give you the debuff Old and make you physically look like an old character. This slows your movement down significantly and allows you to prevent her Seduce from doing any damage to you at all. She usually follows up Seduce with a nasty melee and mid-range circle AoE that you will want to try to avoid. This is the ability to try and kill those with low health from Seduce if they fail to use the chests in time. Secondly is a targeted ability that places markers on players' heads. This is Abyssal Volcano. Once the cast completes, a series of AoE explosions go off following the player marked everywhere they go. Simply kite the explosions away to avoid damage until they are gone, obviously avoiding the chest as to not accidentally gain the slow old debuff and getting caught in all the blasts. Aside from this series of very cool mechanics, the princess soon falls, leaving us to get to the last boss of the dungeon, Shisui Yohai. This tentacle fiend stands before you and holds a couple of very interesting abilities, first of which is Thick Fog. This activates a transition to a blue foggy arena, filled with 4 ads. The boss can be seen slightly underwater by using the visible puddles for guidance. Simply kill the 4 ads as soon as possible and remember not to stand near the puddle she made in the water. Once the ads die, she reappears at this point and causes damage to anyone who stood near that puddle. Secondly, the boss summons minions into the room to aid her. These have a long cast timer before they do charge attacks to the player they are attached to, via this large line. You need to kill the ads before they charge the player they are attached to. Again, they have very little health, so should pose no threat if you switch to them immediately. Her last ability then is called Mad Stare. This is an eye ability, and like all other eye abilities in the game where an eye icon pops up, you must face away from the boss before she finishes the cast. Otherwise you are mind controlled for quite a duration. I think it's like 10 seconds or something, incapable of doing anything. In short, the dungeon was very enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to a hard version of it, as it was rather simple for me. The bosses are fun, the mechanics are fun. I'd like to see a little bit more depth to them. They're really thinking outside the box for Stormblood, and I can't wait to see more. Thank you very much for watching, subscribe for more if you like it, and I'll see you next time.